Good evening, everybody. My name is Tanner Stephenson, and tonight I will be informing you all on the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act that went into effect January 1st, 2018. First of all, I'd like to know how many people get excited when they file their tax returns. Secondly, how many people get scared around tax filing time because you have a balance due. What you previously known is going to change. The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act changed multiple things within the tax returns that we're used to filing and filling out. Most people, in my opinion, will be impacted in a positive way. Some will be impacted in a negative way. Which is which, we don't know until you file your tax returns, because I don't know your specific story. The first major change in lieu of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act is the change in standard deduction. The standard deduction for a single filer increased by about $6,000, and the standard deduction for a married couple has increased by approximately $12,000. That sounds great, but will it actually have a positive impact? Second major change to the federal tax code is the removal of personal exemptions. One of those exemptions is the $4,050 exemption that you get to claim on your tax return per person on that tax return. It could be considered a dependent deduction, but your spouse and yourself is also included. That will no longer be in effect. It'll be taken away the next time you file your federal income taxes. That being said, I'd like you to think about a single individual with no kids. Okay, his standard deduction was roughly $6,063.50 actually, and it has increased by about $6,000. That individual would have only received $4,050 had the taxes not changed, but with the increase in the standard deduction, instead of getting a $40.50 decrease to taxable income, he gets a $6,000 decrease to taxable income. Next scenario is a single individual with two kids. That individual would have had $63.50 as a standard deduction. They would have had an exemption for three people. $4,050 times 3 is about $12,400. That being said, the individual is missing out on additional taxable income that could have been reduced because they removed the personal exemption. The same could be said in married filing joint individuals. It kind of depends on how many kids you have. The standard deduction has gone up about $12,000, so every 3 kids that a married filing couple have will actually be missing out on tax opportunity. Another big change is the child tax credit that individuals can take on their return has doubled. Previously, it has been $1,000 per child. That has increased to $2,000 per child. And obviously, you have a maximum credit that allows for a refundable part of that credit of $1,400. You can use the credit to extinguish any tax liability, and then you get $1,400 up to your maximum credit that you would get on the child tax credit worksheet. Every single tax bracket has also changed, so any kind of equation, you may fall in the same bracket that you previously did, whether it be 1, 2, or 3, or 4, or the top tax bracket, but the numbers have changed. The dollar amount for what the second tier must begin filing in that bracket has increased, and that has happened for all taxable incomes. That being said, I think that each and every individual this next year will be impacted by the federal changes to the tax code. And the reason I say that is because you're either going to get more or you're going to get less. Thanks.